Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another mod showcase, and we're going to be doing the Highland Tech Tree extension. So you can see I've got no other mods enabled. TTE Highlands. Now this requires the Lonely Mountain DLC, and we're just going to go ahead and set it up. So we need Lonely Mountains, Tech Tree, because that's how I like to play, and hard. You want it on hard or very hard or nightmare, just because once you like early game, yeah, it'll be difficult, but as the game goes on, you're going to really struggle to enjoy it because you're going to get quite strong, and it helps to have a little bit of extra difficulty towards the end of the game. So it starts off pretty normal, but what you can actually do with this mod is it enables tons of things. So basically, you can craft pretty much everything from the past levels. So the tech tree has been brought all the way up. Things that weren't available in this map originally. It's basically a patch for this level. It fixes all the things that you were like, oh, I need that, I wish that I still had that. It makes this level more normal, which is great. It's quality of life update. But what it also does is it adds things that are in the map that you can't craft, such as the hatches and the background tiles, and I think there's 4 background tiles that you can craft, 8 overall because there's a broken one and then a fixed one. And it also adds extra armor, because you have the mountain gear armor, and then all of a sudden you've got the elven armor, which is just it's comparable to the mithril armor, but it's not better, if you know what I mean. I'll show you in a sec. So you can also craft the mana regeneration items, all 4 of them: the mana portal, the mana extra mana, and the mana generation, and the reduced mana requirement from distance. You can also craft wool out of web, which is great. You can craft sulfur, essence of lightning, which is actually required to make every item that's end game, and an extra tier on top of the weapons that we already have as end game items. So you have your mithril weapons. Now you have, well, you had the lightning bow. We already had that, but that's always been the best bow you can get. Now you've got the Dark Lord's saber or sword or something like that, and the shaman staff, which I don't know if people know, but the shaman staff you actually get from playing biomes as a reward. That's where the elven armor comes from too. You can also get that as a reward. So yeah, so I'll quickly go over the tech tree and what I found, and then we'll get on to, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You see me going over the tech tree right now. There are a couple of things that I come across in this mod that are great, and a couple of things that are just not quite there. So yeah. Okay, so this is me at the end of the game, and as you can see, I've been able to move all my buildings in here. You can now destroy buildings and bring them back home, and that's what I've done. I've got my mana generations, which I was able to make. I've got my libraries, of course. I've got my Hall of Heroes, and I've got all these beds that I was able to make. Oh, unfortunately, I was one short, but yeah. So let's have a look at the tech tree. Now, with this map, there are a couple of exceptions. Coal is now right at the start of the tech tree, which is awesome. I've always thought it should be, because it's quite a requirement on this map. Iron Hatch has also been moved forward. Carpenter's Bench has been added into the game. One thing that is missing is shoes for this tech tree. which is that's fine. But yeah, I don't know why they're missing shoes. And as you can see, pretty much everything. Forge has been added, workshop's been added, carpenter's bench has been added, and yeah, mining gear has been added, but they didn't do anything with the mining gear. It's just 7 armor, -1 agility. I just think, come on, man, plus 10% to mining skill. You know, that'd be cool. Give me a reason to wear it other than, oh, I've got it. You know, I mean, I don't understand that. So you basically get all your, like, you got rifles and stuff like that. Sulfur is makeable. Let me see, what is sulfur? So that's what it costs to make sulfur. Pretty straightforward. Wool is makeable out of web. Water is also makeable out of snow. So they're the 3 most important adds that were in this. Now, as we go through the tech tree, this is where I ran into some problems, complaints. This rusty pistol is just added in there for no reason. This is really strong. I used this for pretty much the whole game. 35 damage, 90% accuracy, 4 range. That's better than pretty much everything at the same tier. So this is a tier 2 weapon, and it does 35 damage. And look what it makes. Look at it cost to make. That's just, this is too strong, way too strong. Yeah, it made everything else irrelevant, which was unfortunate because it kind of nerfed the game a bit, because everything else here is just not good enough. You got your Mountain Warrior's bow, or you can just use the longbow, which they've added in. And then here you got the Soul Reaper, which is from the Desert World. It does extra damage to undead, 40 damage, and which is also a pretty overpowered item. But yeah, and like I said, they've added in all the labs and all that. And then you got your mountain gear items, which were in it anyway. But now you've got Cuirass of the Dark Lord, Armored Boots of the Dark Lord, and Night Horned Helmet, which is basically of the Dark Lord. Now you need these items to make Elven Armor. So we go into Elven Armor, here it is here, and you need them. And you also need a Ball of Lightning, an Elixir of Obliteration, and Bag of Elixirs. Now this is not too bad. This Cuirass of Dark Lord is not better than the Guardian Armor. The Guardian Armor is better, but this is cheaper to make. Yeah, it just requires iron for that, and silver for that, and silver for that. The Elven Armor, on the other hand, oh my god, what a pain in the ass to make. These Elixir Obliterations, you require grey mushrooms and pink mushrooms, and dark crystals and red crystals, and to an extent eyes. You'd be thinking, well, that's not too big of a deal. Yes, it is, because look down here. Do you see any crystals? I made this so that I could find them. There's 3 crystals at the moment. Okay, so there's a bit more, but this has been here for like 6 hours. 6 hours, and that's all I got. So, yeah, I just think this was too hard to make. Yes, I get it. Alright, so you're trying to make it so it's really hard to get. I ended up buying most of the ingredients. The other thing here is the Bag of Elixirs. Now, you wouldn't think this would cost too much, but Mana Elixir, more grey mushrooms. Yeah. So, I mean, you can find these, which is good. But, yeah, Mana Elixirs cost a lot, and Elixir of Obliteration costs a lot. So, this armor takes a lot to make. And then, you gotta make more for the weapons. So the Sword of the Dark Lord, you need another bag of elixirs, you need a potion of resurrection, which means you need to go down to the dragons, which I did. I went down to the dragons and was farming their spawns. And you need a mithril sword and a bowl of essence of lightning. You need that essence of lightning for the lightning bow and the shaman staff. Now look at this shaman staff. Look how expensive this is. All this stuff requires, what do they call it? Raw material. Raw materials. Those mushrooms and all that are called raw materials. You have to basically buy them from the shop. There is no other way to get them other than to wait here and for them to spawn, which they're not going to. So, yeah. So, ball of lightning. Here's the recipe here. Ice elixir, not too bad. More grey mushrooms, which are really rare. And then you've got blue crystals, which again, really rare. And ball of lightning, which isn't too bad. I mean, quartz is there. Yeah, quartz is one of the most common crystals that forms. All pink crystals is another one, but yeah, this is pretty easy to make, and you get 25 when you make them, so you get quite a lot. So yeah, the other thing was the mana regeneration and the drilling machine MK2, which is really rare in the early levels. So this is what it takes to make it. Not too expensive. You might find yourself struggling early on to get no, you should be right. They're pretty cheap. This is pretty cheap right here. This is pretty cheap, and this is pretty cheap. So yeah, I mean the dark crystal here is probably the hardest thing here to find, and you need 2 of these. So yeah, you do also have hats. So the developer didn't introduce all the hats. He just introduced these 3. The beautiful witch hat, which increases your skill with the mage skill, and the red version, they're both exactly the same. They do the same thing. Pirate hat, which I also think increases damage, but I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look at that. But that's, yeah, I think you should just equip this hat. But anyway, and then you've got the Dark Lord's Servant's Halberd. Now this thing unlocks after the pistol, so it's completely useless. I honestly think that pistol, just rusty pistol, it just makes everything irrelevant. Mid-tier. So this is a mid-tier weapon. It just makes everything. That pistol makes everything irrelevant around that tier. So yeah, you got your 3 endgame weapons, which I have equipped evenly on all my dwarves. I got all the elven armor. Got 4 of these 6 of these shields. There is no upgraded gear. So I got a bag of elixirs on everyone. Oh, I took off the ring. I got archer's gloves and bag of elixirs. I was using backpacks and climbing gear, but once you get towards the end of the game, you just want to get to the portal and you're done. I think I got to about earlier, about here, and I decided I'd just take off all the extra gear and make everyone full strength. So what else is there? You can make books, which I've always thought is a necessity. That should always be in the tech tree at the end of the game anyway. They're not too difficult to make, which is great. You got plenty of brains in this level, plenty of water for paper. You can try making one of these infinite water sources, but try to make it towards underneath this level here. where the background is like this, not where the background is like this here. It looks the same, but it's different. See how on the map it's blue? On the map over here it's brown. So water will freeze above that level, and sometimes it unfreezes, so you can get in there and mine water or collect water and get it 999 pretty quickly. So I try to make my base look pretty much all the new stuff that's in this level. Got the new table, the new beds, new tables, the new lights, the new hatch. There is a bug with the door. You cannot make the door for some strange reason. It's just not available. It says, do you want to make the door? And you just can't for some strange reason. Where is it? Here it is. Wooden door. I destroyed like 30 doors. I didn't get one, so I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, there's that. The other thing is, when you remove these buildings, I'll insert the clip right now. As you'll see, the dwarves actually go back to the buildings to do work. Now you can actually solve that. Like, this is a bug. They'll idle there forever. Well, not forever, but if they're, like they'll actually go there to do work instead of going back to your base. This is a bug. I think it's hard coded into the INI file for the map, and the developers overlooked it. That's what happens. Bugs just happen. We need to report these things. So that's just one issue. There's a couple of issues with the map at the moment. So what you can do to fix that is you remove the layer underneath. Just one layer. If you have climbing gear, for some stupid reason, I'll see if I can find that clip and put that in here, they will use climbing gear to get up to the same level. So once you get climbing gear, it undoes all your good work. But if you get rid of one layer, it will stop them going back to that forge or cooking, or yeah. So yeah, having said all that, these new buildings, now I don't know if they're faster. I mean, they should be. If we look at the tech tree, they're in this one for some strange, all of them. They all require the lesser version, so they all should be stronger, but I don't think they are. I just noticed that I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, I didn't even make any. These are all the ones that I come across. I just took them down and destroyed them because I didn't want them making items out in the field. I wanted them making items back at my base, and so they're right next to the stockpile. You can do the same with stockpiles. I think I can find one somewhere. There's a stockpile here somewhere. You can destroy that as well. There's another. Anyway, you can destroy stockpiles. If I zoom right out, I can see a little bit better. There's a stockpile. So you can destroy stockpiles as well, and then remove the tiles underneath it to stop them from going back there, because they will still go back there. They will take their items, go to this stockpile, and go, oh, there's nothing here, and then walk all the way to the next one. So you remove these 3 blocks, and that fixes it. Okay, so last thing mentioning, the scaffolds to the left there, you can see, you can now make 2 extra scaffolds, which is awesome, which means you can also pick up the scaffolds, if you've ever finished this map before, that are at the bottom of the map, which is excellent. I mean, that's a great little additive. So this is just the end of the map of my playthrough. I've got everyone with Elven Armor. Now, Elven Armor isn't better than Mithril Armor, if you were wondering. It's a little bit less armor, but better agility, so you move faster. It doesn't have any mana regeneration or anything like that. So, summary, you can't make rings and amulets, which I find disappointing. The end game items are a bit too expensive because raw materials and crystals are rare. Rusty pistol is overpowered. Where's the mage armor? Seriously, I don't get it. There are manageable bugs. They're not too big an issue. There's ways around them. This mod doesn't work in Heart of Evil. I think it should. It doesn't work in any map, obviously. But the items are in the shop, so you can still buy all of the items. Also, where's the blood and the frozen sword? I don't know. But anyway, this mod was updated 3 years ago, in June of 2021. So hopefully, me shining a light on it now can maybe, like, either myself or someone else, can ask the developer, can I do some changes? Because this could really use just a couple of tweaks and it would be perfect. Like, it is a really good mod. I honestly think 4 out of 5 stars. It's that good. I would probably give it 5 out of 5 if it was up to date and all those things that I talked about, like the raw materials and the crystals. That's a huge issue. Like, you can't make the best gear in the game unless you just full stop playing the game and start farming, and you have to farm for like 6 hours, which is just nonsense. But other than that, it made the map more enjoyable. So it's either you play without it or you play with it and have a bit more fun. So I think that's worth a 4 out of 5 rating. So props to the creator of this map. I think his name's Void. I don't know whether that's spelled with an O or a 0, but yeah, as you can see, I've got everyone fully equipped with all the new gear. No new pickaxes, which was unfortunate, but I could see what the developer's vision was. It was to not change too much. Just add what was already available, which is a great concept. You stick to that, you can't go wrong. So I think that was a brilliant choice of execution, and I feel like they did execute pretty well here. So 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely download and give this a try. And yeah, here's a shout out to the developer, and there'll be a link to the mod in the description. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, be good to your mother, and I'll see you next time. Peace.